we'll just kind of open up for questions. I'm sure you have a lot, so we'll get started.
PJ, you talked about after Saturday's game about taking ownership for it. What are you going to change in how you approach this week and this game?
Yeah, I mean, we're just going to respond to it, and we've all got to take accountability to be able to coach better, play better. Nobody's happy about the performance. Nobody's happy about the last 3 weeks. I think that's very clear. But you can either stay where you're at or you can change your best. You just got to kind of review how, I practice scripts, practice plans, who needs more reps, what kind of reps, where are we struggling, and then you just design it from there, because that's all you can do really in season, I think we have a very confident football team that needs to get back to playing confident, but that's earned as well. That just doesn't happen. I mean, you can build that with, truth, authenticity, proof, things like that. I mean, that's how confidence is really, is really born, people being very real with you. So, obviously we don't like where we're at with 3 straight, but we don't look at it that way. I think I have to say that because that's how you guys think of it. As I said in the postgame, it's one-game championship season. We were 0-1, unfortunately, against Penn State. Didn't play well enough to win, but our team came in yesterday ready to respond, ready to go, and I wouldn't expect anything less.
What is your overall assessment of the pass rush right now?
Well, it's not very good. I can get into it a little bit more. We're just not getting home with 4. We've got guys to be able to step up and do better at it. Technique, fundamentals. When we do, we did get some pressure on him. He was able to step in the pocket and make a big throw here or there. I know that we even got some internal pressure, which was good, but we've got to be better in that department. We know that. And whether that's personnel, whether that's bringing more people, whether that's our techniques and fundamentals, it all has to improve.
How do you get the receivers to start to win more against press man?
Well, I think when you go back and look at the film, there were times we didn't and times we did. I think they've got really good players in the secondary, but it's not just about winning versus man coverage. We have, if you look at some of the, the views that I get in the actual film, we either beat somebody and the ball gets knocked down, ball's not necessarily in the right area, or we don't, in that particular point, get off press coverage or, don't create separation down the field. But there's a lot of things we can keep doing, to create separation, but you got to earn that too. That's not just going to go away. You got to earn that. Mekhi had a nice play down the sideline. He ran by people, and you're going to have to be able to go down the field to run by people to have them respect you, to be able to have that space and get that space. If not, then when you're down, Dalen, when you're down Crab, the other guys have to be able to step in and do that type of stuff. And we have. That's the thing. We have. Those guys have the capability of doing that. They have to believe that they can because they have. So yesterday we went back and showed them all the things that they have done against press coverage, against man coverage. But that's the best way people are going to play us. We said that before. People are going to put a lot of people in the box, play us man coverage, and have the quarterback and wideouts beat you. We said that, how in spring ball. That's how people are going to, especially with us, as we keep going forward. Now in the past, we've been able to beat people that way. But our guys are getting better. They're doing a lot of things better. Now they just have to do it more consistently. So,
has Gainer progressed in the protocol?
He's progressed. Yeah, he's definitely progressed.
Is there steps that show that he could potentially play on Saturday?
I think it's too early to tell. Too early to tell. Because there's so many steps, not just the step, but how do you feel during the step, right? And I think those are the keys.
Did you feel like there was some bright spots that came out of the game?
Absolutely. I mean, we focus on the loss part and focus on the score part, and I get all that. But there was tremendous positives that came out of it, and we even showed our players those things. I mean, for a true freshman or a redshirt freshman to come in and play like he did, with 110,000 people being his first start, I thought he looked poised. I thought he threw the ball really well. I thought he handled himself. I thought he was able to escape the pocket when he needed to, be able to get yardage. We got to teach him, how to slide and some things. You got to get into get him with, Coach Anderson, get into the slide part, how to slide properly. But, there was a lot of really good things. Defensively, we played really well. I know that everybody's like, what are you talking about? We gave up 5 explosive plays. But other than that, we played really well. And when you look at it, that was so hard. That's what's hard over the last few weeks is you want to turn on the film and you want to be like, oh, we busted this. Oh, we busted that. Oh, this is wrong. This is a wrong call. It's a bad call. It's on. we just let up some explosive plays. And that's what we're not built that way. Everything that we talk about is create explosive plays on offense and eliminate explosive plays on defense. And they won the explosive play battle, right? And when you're playing in a team like that and you win explosive plays and their explosive plays are more explosive than yours, you're gonna lose the game. I don't think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers scored a touchdown yesterday. They got the greatest quarterback in the history of football. It's hard, right? It's really hard. And we just got it. We've done it. We've shown it. We just got to get back to being way more consistent.
What stands out as you prepare for Rutgers?
Well, we're preparing for Rutgers. I mean, it's a little too early to say everything about them. I just know that they're a lot better football team than they were last year. They're really good defensively, very aggressive. Greg's teams are always going to be sound, disciplined, play really well on defense, always have. Offensively, they have some weapons. Quarterback's playing a lot better, and they're able to do a lot of different things. Again, too early to really kind of dive into and tell you all the things just because it's Monday morning, but that's what we're doing right now. But we got to focus on us. We got to get back to playing complementary football. When we're on schedule and we look our best, we're complementary, meaning the run and the pass fit together, offense and defense fit together, special teams, the bridge and connects it. That's when we're really at our best. And we just been a little inconsistent with that the last few weeks. So get back to the rhythm, get back to the execution, and that's where we're just going to keep rowing. We're going to keep rowing towards that because there is no magic formula to let it happen. You just got to work through it. When you're not playing your best football, the only way I know how to get out of it is fight, and these guys are fighting, and that's what I respect about them.
It seems like Brevin's finding more success in the receiving game. How do you continue to incorporate him as a mismatch moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a tremendous job. I thought we were able to free him up. We just got to start faster. If we can start faster, get in a rhythm, mix the run and the pass a lot more, it's going to free up opportunities for everybody, from the wide receivers to be able to help them be able to create separation. But when you're behind the chains, and that's the whole thing of the last week, was we were behind the chains. The false start penalties we don't have very often put us behind the chains, and then they put us in a forced throwing mode. And when they know you're going to throw, and that's the only thing you have, it's hard against a really good defense. So Brevin's just got to continue to keep getting better. He's become a tremendous leader. He's a really good route runner. He understands conceptual football. He's playing at a really high level. He's playing very confident, and I know he'll keep doing that. And he's a huge part of our offense as we move forward, especially when you don't have everybody. We said it's going to take everybody. It's going to take the backs. It's going to take the tight ends. It's going to take the wideouts. It's going to take everybody. And some guys have been put in that role before, but they've been in kind of a role mode, and now guys have to be the guy, and they've got to keep getting better in that role of being the guy, and Brevin's done a really good job answering the bell there.
PJ, how would you describe the way you guys approach things on offense in the first half? It seemed like you guys were maybe a little conservative or taking the ball out of Ethan's hands a little bit early to get him worked into the game. How did you kind of describe it?
Well, I think that game kind of dictated that with the false start penalties really early. I mean, 5 of the first 20 plays, I think we have false start. So, I mean, that's going to set you back. We're in their territory. Our defense is playing really well. Again, Andy, you're making decisions based on who's in the game, what's going on, and how people look, But I thought we had a really good game plan. We felt like we were going to be able to run the football effectively, but now all of a sudden you're in a 1st and 15, right? You're in a 2nd and 13, and that's a little bit different setting that stuff up. So, but when we were able to throw the football, again, I don't look at the stat line and say, hey, this quarterback played well or not well. I don't look at that part. Did I feel like he played well? And for his first real action, I thought he played really well for somebody thrown into that type of role. But it's, you're putting your first 10 together to go score. You're not putting your first 10 together to say, hey, we're going to be conservative and not move the football. We just didn't execute it. And we go back and watch it. Why didn't we execute it? Well, that's what we have to be able to get better at.
How much does Ethan's play Saturday give you confidence for his future moving forward?
I have an incredible amount of confidence in that young man. I think you all know that. I think you know how I feel about him. I think you know when we recruited, how we talked about him. I think the sky's the limit for that young man. And I told you before, if you get in a position that we were in, Cole banged up, Tanner banged up, if there's one person you can put in that environment that was not going to be rattled by that environment, it was him. And I think he showed that. I don't think he was at all rattled. I don't think you saw that at all. I thought you saw a really young, inexperienced quarterback that has a really bright future that everybody can be really excited about because he's got great intangibles that will only get better. but he's got a great skill set with his feet, with his arm, his mind. He's got great confidence about himself, got a great presence, understands the game really well, and we'll keep building that around him. You know, part of that, Andy's question is, you can call it whatever you want, conservative or whatever, but you want to do what you know he can do and he's capable of doing in that environment and that first start, and show and see what he can handle, what he can't, what is going to be productive for us, what he's probably not ready for. And again, we talked before, you know, I mean, Manny Diaz, I mean, there's new blitzes every single week. How much is too much on his plate? And we needed to play defense. We needed to play better defensively to win that football game. With what we were going into, and our thought process, and that with our minds was we needed to be able to play better on defense, and we weren't able to do that. But I was really proud of our guys. There was a lot of, to Dave's question, I mean, there was a lot of really good drives that we had. We just stalled. You know, we get drives moving and then we'd stall. You know, that drive that we go down the field, down 17-3, it's 17-10, and here we go. But then we stall ourselves. And no disrespect to them, and they deserve a lot of credit, but there was a lot of things that were self-inflicted that we got to get better at.
Any themes or commonality in the breakdowns defensively, the explosive plays? Was there any themes there?
Well, one, good play design, right? But two, just some communication stuff that would have solved it. And you know, we got to be better that way. But we can keep preparing. I mean, you couldn't hear yourself thinking or indoor, you know, all week, and that's what you want to be able to create for your players, so they know that the communication is going to be really hard. But if you miss a call or you miss a communication, 10 guys on one page, one on another, or somebody taking the cheese, you know, taking something in front of you instead of doing your job. You take the flashy, shiny object. We did that once or twice, and we paid for it.
PJ, over 100 yards on the ground for a 15th straight game. From your perspective, big picture, what's the most impressive aspect of that streak?
Well, I think it's just his dedication to his teammates. He's one of the most selfless players you'll ever meet. He's a tremendous football player, an even better person, as I keep saying, but he's just incredibly tough. And again, I don't define tough as the macho tough. It's the mental component to that, the emotional component to that. The ability to do things for other people, making it about somebody else, being a part of something bigger, and having that accountability. And he's done that. I mean, he's a really special player. Always has been, always will. That's an impressive streak. It really is. But I know he'd trade that streak for wins. I know that if you asked him. But he's given everything he has. You know, I mean, he's been banged up, you know, since the fourth game, and is fighting through a lot of certain things. And I'm really proud of him for that.
You used Cole a couple of times in the Wildcat direct snap to Mo. Do you feel like he'll be able to play 100% if you want to?
Dave, too early to tell. Just is. I mean, it's only Monday, so I'm not sure where we'll be come Saturday with a lot of positions, but I'll know that later in the week.
Start to take some of the pressure off the offensive line with how hard defenses are coming downhill right now.
Well, we got to get the ball on the perimeter. We got to be able to make plays on the perimeter. You know, obviously the screen game helps with that. But again, we're getting matched up with man coverage. You'll see a lot of things that we've done the last few weeks with picks and rubs and, you know, setting things up, caught behind the line of scrimmage. And then we got to be able to win our one-on-one matchups and got to win them quicker, right? Ball's got to be out of our hand. And we know how people are going to play us, but we also got to be able to run the ball versus pressure. You know, if we pick up, that's the one thing about pressure, you know, first and second down. If you're going to bring it, that's fine. But if you hit it, it's going to go for a big play, which we've done a few times this year. So, again, we've done the same things we've done at the beginning of the year that we are now. We executed them a lot better in the first 4 games than we did the last 3 games, partially because of our opponents gotten better, partially because we haven't played as well. So we got to be way more consistent. And I know our team will be, and that's the whole goal of this whole thing. And they're going to fight their way out of it. You know, nobody likes where we are. We're 4-3, but nobody likes where we are, and nobody likes how we've been able to not play as consistently as we know we're possibly capable of doing.
PJ, I know you look at game to game, but do you allow yourself or can't help seeing a turning point here maybe for you that you need something good to happen here?
Well, I think you always need something good to happen, right? You're always looking for something to make better. So all we're doing is doing everything we can to make better, to make it better. It's 1-game seasons. We know we got to show them why they're not playing well or why we're not coaching well. Or again, it's not about just that. It's not about, okay, we've had 3 bad weeks of coaching, 3 bad weeks of playing. We just haven't executed at a really high level. And that's part of the opponent's compliment, part of our deficiencies. We've got to keep finding ways to be able to make that all fit. We on offense, we've kind of had a broken rhythm the last 3 weeks, whether it's personnel, whether it's self-inflicted, false starts, whether it's inconsistency. We've done a lot of that to ourselves, and some we can control, some of it we can't control. But as I told our team yesterday, is we've got 5 total games left, guaranteed, right? And we can still play our best football ahead. These are the things we have to be able to do. We showed them, 26 plays of us playing elite football. And we showed them everybody being able to play at an incredibly high level and having fun, bringing that joy. Sometimes when you don't win, it's all about it's win or be sad. That's not what this program's about. Winning is a direct byproduct of how you prepare, right, and how you live your life. I think Matt Campbell said this, and I told you guys this before. He had a great quote, from Iowa State. He said, winners do lose. It happens. Happens all the time in baseball, right? Happens all the time in basketball. Shoot, it happens in football. Winners do lose, but losers don't hide. And or winners don't hide, sorry. And losers hide. And I think that's what's so encouraging about this team. They just keep coming back for more. And they want to get better. They want to improve. They're not happy with where they are. But they know that it's been self-inflicted, and we played some really good teams. And we've got to be better. But it's not, to answer your question, it's not like, oh, here comes a turning point. It's kind of like a NASCAR race, man. You're always in these turns. I mean, it's college football. You're constantly dealing with something else that can take you off your row if you allow it to.
What are the hallmarks of a Harris-Simiak defense?
Well, we haven't played against it yet. We'll find out on Saturday. Again, it's still early in terms of our preparation, but it's probably very similar to ours, mixed with Greg's. And they're playing quarters, playing man coverage, and doing what we do. I wouldn't say it's exact, but it's pretty. You can see his style. He's out down there on the sideline. I mean, you can see his style written all over that defense. Guys play incredibly hard, and that's what I never question with our guys. I mean, our guys play incredibly hard. Like I said, our defense played really well. We just gave up 5 explosive plays and some miscommunication errors. And that's hard to sit there and say, like I said, you'd like to be able to say we didn't play well across the board. Offensively, we did a lot of really good things. We just, stubbed our toe here and there. We were able to move the ball, drive the ball, make some plays, but it just wasn't enough. But when you look at Joe's defense, I mean, it's mixed with Greg, it's mixed with Bob Frazier, it's mixed with Harris-Simiak. I mean, but they're playing at a high level. They play incredibly hard. That's what I know of it right now. I mean, I haven't studied it enough from last night and this morning to sit there and give you a whole analysis of it. But I know they're going to be really good. They play really hard. Much improved football team over the last year, especially during the season.
Sorry, Coach. We'll take one more question.
Do you expect Dale back this week?
We do.
Yeah, we saw a bit of more of the true read option from Ethan. How does that mobility at quarterback change the offense at all?
It's really this. It was really the same. We only added one play that would make him be a true runner. He pulled it a few times on his own. When Tanner's in there, Tanner has the ability to do that too. But as we keep going, if that happens to be where we go, then we definitely have to look at that as well, because I think he is a really good runner. But he'll only get better as he goes. I mean, he's still a redshirt freshman that needs to keep learning and growing and failing, succeeding all at the same time. And, we know he'll do that.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks everybody. Row the boat. Sky Go Gophers. Thanks.